Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whalenerds podcast. We are on episode 6. I'm here with Caitlin and Eric.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
And today we wanted to jump right into some questions from Instagram. One of the questions I got today was from someone named Brooke. They asked, what is our favorite whale species and why? And Caitlin looks like she wants to start.
Just because I know mine right off the bat. People ask me on this one on the boat a lot too. Baleen whale, my favorite, is a fin whale because they're so difficult.
I like how she threw the baleen in there, so now she can
Because I have a toothed whale too. Okay, my favorite dolphin. I shouldn't say toothed whale. My favorite dolphin is the northern right whale dolphin. So I like the ones that are unusual. Ooh, giving you some ideas, huh? I like the ones that are like not everybody gets to see them, and we don't know a lot about them. That's why I like them. They're mysterious.
What about you, Eric?
Me? People always laugh at me for this one. I like gray whales.
So does my
gray
wife.
Whales are fond to my heart.
A lot of people I hear out there like, they're boring. But yeah, I actually like them a lot. I think the main reason why is they're one of the few whales out there that actually show you that they're curious about people or well, we don't know what they're thinking, but, they'll actually interact with people, especially, when they're out there in Baja and those lagoons where they're raising their calves. So that's one reason why I've always been kind of fascinated by them and always love learning more and more about them every day I see them.
They're very cute little crested
Now,
whales.
ask me this question in the middle of March after I go see these gray whales in Baja, and maybe my answer will change. But I think I really like the humpbacks. Super acrobatic. They make trumpet blows often. They just do a bunch of cool stuff that are super unique, and I think they're one of the most active whales that we see, definitely.
They're definitely a crowd favorite, and I do like seeing them on the whale watch trip because they're very consistent, and so people like them.
Their sheer numbers are a good thing, too.
Yeah.
There's so many of them.
I think it's also that it's the whale that I've probably spent the most time with. Mm-hmm. Well, the gray whale I've seen way more, but the humpbacks, you get to know some of them because they come and hang out in the bay. Like,
it's true.
Like I've seen, some of them 4 or 5 years or 4 years in a row now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. And there are some whales that have some pretty unique personalities. Like Fran, the humpback whale, she's super mellow. Like, she'll just take a nap next to your boat, which is not necessarily the most exciting thing, but it's pretty cool that a whale will just sleep next to you and just hang out.
I had a good encounter with Fran with Eric.
Yeah,
Over
Fran.
in front of Moss Landing, remember that?
Yeah, we had Fran breaching and stuff like that, but she's a whale that we all look forward to seeing come back to the Monterey, and I believe her mother was actually a whale that they saw in the bay, and then she's here, and you never know. Maybe one day she'll come here with a calf. So.
Did she not have a calf a couple years ago when I first moved here?
I don't think
No,
so.
maybe not.
No, I don't think she's had one. Another cool whale that I always like to see for humpbacks is Batman. Just because he has a really cool story. He's really recognizable. He's seen very consistently in the breeding grounds every year, and he's like very easily he's a good topic of conversation because you can see all the scuff marks from the competitive pods. You can see how unique his tail is. He has a pretty cool story about how humpback whales travel around.
I want to say he's one of my furthest distance travel IDs, like from Mexico up to here.
Oh, really?
Batman, I think. Or just maybe he might be the oldest one that I have.
He's definitely an old whale.
He's older than me, I know that.
Yeah, I think he's older than all of us.
Should we do one more question from Instagram?
Yeah, what you got?
What is your first whale encounter? Or when did you start like getting whale fever? And that one is from Eco Twin 1.
Not Eco Twin 2.
Maybe Eco Twin 2 can send us one later. Well, the first whale, this happened somewhere about the same time. Maybe this one was probably first. The first whale I ever saw was Keiko. And I think I really liked him. I don't really remember too much about it other than my mom showing me the newspaper like, oh, look, he's coming in the truck to the Oregon Coast Aquarium. I thought that was rad. I thought it was crazy. And then I do remember seeing the southern resident killer whales from land. That's the first time I remember seeing whales. And then gray whales along the Oregon coast. And I think really not until I was in college did I really become obsessed with whales. I liked all animals, but whales, just like Jim Sumich's class at Oregon State, really got me hooked.
And for me, I'm been pretty lucky in my life. I've always lived, just pretty close proximity to the ocean. I grew up in a town called Redondo Beach. All you Southern Californians know. I assume you don't because I'm here in Monterey. But I was just growing up on the water, and gray whales used to always play in the surf. And what's kind of weird, we were all beach kids, and they took us whale watching anyway. I still remember. I think it was actually on the Voyager, the boat that a lot of you who live in the South Bay know about. And remember seeing gray whales. But yeah, growing up as a kid, we had, the ocean just right there as your backyard. So you get to know all the animals pretty well. Dolphins would swim by, sea lions, harbor seals. We'd fish off the pier. And also, we had marine land in the area too. And the Cabrillo Aquarium was a resource that a lot of kids learned about. Marine life down in Southern California. So always exposed to it. Always had whales literally just right out my front door.
Yeah, same with me. I'm from Southern California as well. And I would like to say that the gray whale was my first whale that I saw, but I can't be sure. Because I usually didn't go whale watching during the school year, which is during the wintertime, Mm-hmm. So, but maybe during like spring break I might have saw one. But for sure I remember seeing blue whales, which just sounds kind of crazy. I remember being on the fishing grounds up by the oil rigs near Point Vicente, and just a blue whale passing by the boat. And I took a picture with like a point and shoot. And I wasn't even into photography. I just brought a camera to take pictures of fish and stuff at the time. But that's something I remember. And then I remember the CA-51s going across the Bell Buoy, which was a pretty crazy memory.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that simple things like that, just like one little thing like a blue whale passing by or an orca passing by will literally get you hooked for life.
See, those aren't the ones that hooked me, though. I forgot what actually hooked me was the minke whale breaching.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty crazy.
I think it was the reaction people got because I just told you about it having its mouth open and you can see the baleen. Mm-hmm. And the reaction that people got online from that, I was just like, wow, what if I could capture something that people haven't seen before?
Yeah.
So, I think that also got me pretty addicted into the photography side of it as well.
I think I annoyed Jim a little bit. He laughs a lot when I tell this story, but when I took a pass, no pass, weekend class at the beach about marine mammals. I was like, how hard could it be? Let's try it. And I kept asking all these questions, and Dr. Sumich kept being like, no, Caitlin, science does not know the answer to your question. And I was like, well, why? And so that part was frustrating, but also really fascinating. And so I was like, that's it. We're studying whales. This is what we're doing here.
What was your question?
I think I had 6 different questions.
I was just going to say, I don't know what your question was.
I remember after about the third or fourth time, he's like, Caitlin, seriously, we don't know the answer. I can't even remember what I was asking him, but it was between 2 days, it was 6 different questions that we didn't know.
Yeah, I love Jim's explanation to you, especially, someone as world-renowned as him, That's what I love about science, and probably why I'm so bad and hate math. Math, there's always a definite answer, whereas science, there really isn't, sometimes a straight answer for a lot of things we know.
True.
That's why it drives me nuts when, especially on Facebook, someone says something, and someone, has to say, no, you are completely wrong. It's in science, you might be completely wrong, but you never know. You might not be completely wrong, just perfect example is breaching. We have so many explanations about that.
People tell me that I'm wrong when I say things.
Yeah, and there will literally be
what?
people who tell
you
no,
know?
you're wrong about that. It's how do you know?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I live in the middle of the United
Do you
States.
speak?
I know.
Yeah, do you speak humpback whale? Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. We'll get people sitting in an armchair, in a landlocked place. No, that's absolutely wrong. So breaching is a perfect example.
Yeah, that is a
I
good
can't
one.
stand it when people go, no, you were wrong.
People choose what their favorite is when it comes to that kind of thing. They're like, it is for communication.
Yeah.
It is for fun.
Yeah.
It's whatever makes you feel happy is kind of what you want to go for. Is what people go for. I feel like.
One of my favorite phrases to say to people about whales is just when you think you got them figured out, they show you you're wrong.
Exactly. The blue whale breaching thing. The same day that gray whale, breached in front of us. Someone else be like, "How often do these guys breach?" I'm like, "Not that much." And lo and behold, that guy literally had a
No.
gray whale breach right in front of his face.
I literally am taking a picture. The whale flukes, and I'm like, okay, well, it's one gray whale. He does a big old arch. I'm like, he's down for a while. I step into the wheelhouse, walk away. Eric's still watching, where it went, boom, flying out of the water. And I hear everybody scream, and I turn, and I still saw the whale breach, but I didn't even get to turn my camera around. But you never know.
I mean, and I think all three of us here can tell you, people will say blue whales don't breach. I've seen it twice, fin whales don't breach. I've seen it once.
Fin whales don't fluke.
Yeah,
I've seen that multiple times in one trip. Yeah,
fin whales do not fluke, except for there's this one fin whale that used to
See, there's except but.
I don't know what you know how they just kind of wiggle. I don't know how to explain it, but his fluke would come out when he just took a normal breath.
Isn't it called fluky or something?
Yeah, don't tell Southern Californians.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about.
Fin whales don't fluke. Yeah, fluky flukes. And what's funny is, in fact, it was Elisa's birthday. We all went out on the Long Beach boats, and not only did we see Fluky Fluke, I kid you not, 2 other individuals fluked that day. It was pretty amazing. It got to the point where when it first happened, people were like, "Oh, that's really weird. It must be a." This is the thing I hate the most, when people can't explain things or can't ID an animal. It must be a hybrid. That is my pet peeve. And I go, it must be a blue fin hybrid. That's why it's breaching. But I'm like, look at its flukes. It's clearly a fin whale.
Yeah. Hybrids are a funny thing.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole nother thing about whales and dolphins is the hybridization conversation. It's just a whole nother thing that goes off the rails real fast.
Yeah, there are some that are very obvious, but there's some, that people are like, this.
Did we pick a topic for today?
No, we're just going for it.
I thought you were going off questions off of from our Instagram followers.
Did we have any other questions you wanted to throw at us?
Let me see. Yeah, we did get another question. Do different pods of humpbacks communicate differently? That was from Kirsty B_7. And yes, they do. Mm-hmm. Depending on, obviously each population of them has probably a different dialect.
Yeah, so the most obvious way that we know that is on the breeding grounds with their song. So the males, as far as we know, mostly the males sing on the breeding grounds. The purpose is not entirely known. We think probably to attract females or maybe males to compete with for access to females. But the song changes over time, and you can see the song change across regions too, especially in the Pacific. You can see the song shift from west to east.
Yeah, there is some small talk that since the whale vocalizations go so far, that other males might be picking up on bits of that song and kind of adding it onto theirs. So that might be how that this is being kind of changed every few seasons.
How do you feel about there being technically, let's say the Hawaiian population or Alaska Hawaiian comes over here and then goes up, right? Mm-hmm. If they meet, I'm sure they run into other humpbacks from the ones from down in Mexico.
For sure.
So you don't think maybe they're
there could also be males switching breeding grounds still? And then if one of them shows up singing a different song, the rest of them are like, woo, he sounds unique. We all need to sound like him. We're going to match his song.
You know what would be cool to find out is if they have an idea of someone in Alaska or someone and then he goes to Hawaii or she, and then Alaska, and then ends up going to Mexico one year. Or the opposite. Have they ever had 2 different breeding grounds?
There is one. It's on Happy Whale. I don't know too much about it, but I know that I think last year, or the year before, they figured that out. And that's the cool thing that's going to hopefully come out of this Happy Whale project.
Yeah. And an easy way to look at it is you can kind of think of our humpback populations not as populations, as more as cultures. So I think, just them listening to each other out there, those calls from different populations cross, so they're probably picking them up, from each other. In fact, their calls can be so unique. I know our blue whales, I think Cascadia has actually determine the populations by, slight differences in the males' calls and stuff like that. I think we've determined that there's 11 populations of blues out there. So, yeah, these calls are really important. Yeah, they're quite different. Even with, pretty much all the whales out there. Sperm whales have different dialects between different populations out there.
Clips and codas within their family units, and then same thing with killer whales is a very obvious one, but different subpopulations and breeding groups of dolphins. And a lot of different species have unique calls.
Okay, speaking of unique calls, that video that just surfaced of the killer whales, the southern resident orcas swimming with the Pacific white-sided dolphins, those dolphins obviously can tell the difference between the transient calls and the resident calls.
Oh yeah, they can.
Which
For
is
sure.
absolutely amazing.
One call you stay away from. The other one's okay.
And then they obviously, the southern residents and the transients obviously know, because from people I've talked to up there, they say that they won't even come within like 50 miles of each other.
They're like ships in the night sometimes. They just go right by each other, don't interact at all. They also have done tests on California sea lions. Like, they'll play them resident calls, and then they'll play them transient calls. This is for captive sea lions, is where they first figured this out. And the transient calls will freak the sea lions out. Like, they just panic.
Dang, no, that's me.
That's me.
I was going to say,
I'm pretty sure it's illegal.
But
I didn't say that.
Did you guys
He didn't say that.
Did you guys hear about that?
I just want to test the theory.
Well, okay.
You go to the rock wall, and you're scuba diving.
Yeah, you just play it.
Hit
That's
a little
messed up.
call.
But
science. It's
where
science.
where
it's
they
not messed up.
I think where they did try this, I don't know if you guys heard about this. In Astoria, Oregon, one year they had so many sea lions on the docks. They did not know what to do. The sea lions were damaging the docks, damaging the boats. So they got this fake killer whale that they were going to drag behind a boat that was also going to play
like
transient killer whale songs.
Did they do it?
Startle the sea lions. They did it. But it started to take on water. The killer whale part did. And so it was going to, like, they had to cut their losses because it was going to sink the boat if it took on more water.
Oh, my gosh.
So I think it only worked for, like, I don't even know if it worked a whole hour.
Sea lions are no dummies, too. They'll eventually learn, like, this thing's not moving. I'm going to sit on top of it.
Yep.
You know, what's funny is there's a boat. Next time we go back to Moss Landing, hopefully it's still there. There's some guy with one of those inflatable pool toys that looks like an orca that's on his swim step to scare off the sea lions. It's not working.
In Newport, they have you ever seen the Google boat? Did you ever see that? It actually dropped a submarine. It's a big catamaran.
No.
I saw it.
It's huge. It's like a huge catamaran.
You showed it to me when I was there in April.
Okay, yeah. So they have coyotes on that. They have, like, what are those called? Stuffed coyotes or fake coyotes on it. I think it's to scare off the birds too, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, a lot of those things, deterrents, I kind of laugh at because animals get so used to them. High Spirits had a stuffed cat that was on top of the boat to kind of scare off the gulls. One day they pulled up, there was a gull right next to the cat, like they were friends. These animals just catch on eventually.
It was like us. We tried to put that fake owl out. I think it worked for about 4 hours on the back
then the gull will be right
wharf.
next to it, trying to become its friend. Yeah.
The one by the stairwell, right?
Yeah.
I remember
it only
that
worked for a few hours.
That's funny. And I would never play the transient call at the harbor.
He would not, because he knows it's wrong.
Not for the shot or anything.
Maybe for science. Maybe for science.
No, but that's really interesting. Like, to think that you could. I mean, just like people, do bird calls or rabbit calls and stuff like that for when they're hunting.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Some of those animals, we pretty much feed them. The bird trips, don't they throw stuff out there sometimes?
Yes. One company does have a permit to chum. To entice birds to come closer to the boat so you can see them better. But in the confines of the sanctuary, you actually have to have a chumming permit now. Actually, oddly enough, because you could be seen as chumming for white sharks. That's the actual thing they would ding you on. It's interesting how it all shakes out.
You guys used to chum for birds.
Yeah.
In the Monterey Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, some places still chum with popcorn from their guests.
They don't know any better.
Or they just try and get someone really seasick. I've heard of people trying to plot against each other like that.
All right, I think I got a good topic.
Go for it.
Do it.
What have you guys seen that I haven't seen?
Beard's beaked whales.
Okay.
Cuvier's beaked whales.
All right.
Wait, you haven't seen Cuvier's?
No, both times I either was like moving destinations or 1 week. I was like 2 days out for one of them, the last one they had. I was moving back. I like to move.
Yeah, you do. Okay. I know one that you guys have seen that I haven't seen.
What?
Leatherback sea turtle, and I'm not happy about it.
Boom. In fact, I've seen 2 in one day.
You be quiet.
I was there too. Well, what about you were in Southern California when false killer whales came?
Yeah, we had false killer. It happened like
a couple times.
They came back up too, remember?
Yeah.
Went,
So we've seen those.
Wasn't our friend Scotty Schmidt just talking about how he had like all those dates that he's seen falsies?
Yeah, he
Didn't
might
he just
have.
post that today?
He was keeping. In fact, he is the inspiration to my sightings log. Before I didn't have to officially keep that. I would just write it on the aquarium's blog. But yeah.
Yeah, he reposted his old posts February 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 16th, 18th, 21st, and then a whole bunch of dates in March and a few in April.
For what is that?
False killer whales out of San Diego.
Yeah, I just remember them going up the coast, and then they came down the coast, and I think didn't those Marina Del Rey or even
I got one.
Yeah, a bunch of those boats saw them.
ETPs.
I definitely have not seen those.
Does that count if it's just a different?
I mean, I've seen offshore killer whales.
I've seen ETPs once.
I've
Yeah.
not seen ETPs.
Boom.
I also.
Oh, you've seen the seal that I haven't seen. The
Gray seal?
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
I haven't
True
seen
that.
that.
We've seen manatees.
Oh, does that count?
Are we counting those?
Just kidding.
Why not? We counted a turtle.
Okay, we'll count that.
You know what? I thought I was gonna win this when I went in. I thought I'd seen. it
Well,
all.
okay, I'll give you another one that you've seen that I haven't seen. Brutus whale.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. Technically, I've seen a sei whale, but I don't. I mean, that's like
I've had a sei whale encounter
I've
too.
had a quote unquote fin whale, sei whale, Brutus.
Was
whale.
it say well here? Was it here or where was
I think
it?
it was down south.
Oh, okay.
We did have ones that
Maybe it was
that
here.
2016 season.
No.
We had a sei whale wander around. JJ actually saw it a couple times
I
working
think
on
you said that
another
on the
boat.
boat to me.
And then we saw something that could have been a sei whale, but we didn't really get a close look at it one day.
You know what's funny is I remember being back at the aquarium. There was a picture going around of one of those whales that couldn't be ID'd, and everyone was all tossed. It was tossed in. Oh, young fin whale, Brutus whale,
Yeah,
sei
that's
whale.
the hard part.
And
And then
then-
the young fin whale.
Yeah, then we showed it to like a person who worked on a whale watch boat East Coast. Like, oh, that's a sei whale. We're like, damn it. It seems like if you see them all the time, you just notice those
Yeah.
little tiny little features that will
Yeah.
confirm it for you. I was like, oh wow, thanks.
You guys had me on the Dall's porpoise until this last summer. That was the first time I'd seen him.
Yeah,
They're
those are fun.
fun.
If
I
you
love
can see
them.
them.
Yeah.
That's true. They can be the best or they can be the absolute
I had
worst.
the last couple times I saw them. I think they bow rode for a second. I think Eric was there.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
some good Dall's porpoise encounters at the beginning of the summer this last year.
If you guys are wondering why Dall's porpoise are, they're not. I don't want to say hard to find, but hard to see. They're just they are one of the quickest cetaceans out there, hitting 40 miles per hour. And sometimes when you do have a sighting of them, you will literally not see body. All you see is what we call a rooster tail, just their dorsal fin slicing through the water, and they are lightning fast. They little black and white guys, and I think your field guys will probably tell you they're about 5 feet max, but I don't think
Yeah.
I've seen any that big. They're more in about the 3 foot range
Yeah.
out here.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. I know I've seen a northern fur seal here. They're the ones that they do the
Yeah.
teapot thing.
Yeah. The jug handle.
Guadalupe's
Yeah.
possible
Okay,
too.
that's what I was gonna say.
I've seen both.
That's what I don't know if I've seen the Guadalupe.
Yeah, you gotta look at the
thing.
face.
Is it
and then-
Guadalupe or Guadalupe?
Guadalupe,
Guadalupe.
yeah, the island.
Guadalupe.
Yeah.
Guadalupe.
You gotta look at the face, and then
Guadalupe.
the fur along the flipper is also different with each animal.
Yeah, their face, the northern fur seal is like more pointy, more like, what do they say? More like lassie, and then the Guadalupe is a little bit more snub, more like, I don't know how to describe it.
I know that the northern fur seal, the one I saw, it was cool because he yawned and like you could see his teeth.
All his teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I like it when they're cleaning themselves. They like to groom a lot, and they rub their flippers all over their body and roll around. It's pretty cute.
I say he yawned, but he might have just been like eyeing some like snacks on the boat. I don't
No, I think
No,
I've
I'm
seen him
just kidding. He
yawn.
probably yawned or something. That was cool though.
Okay, so Guadalupe fur seal.
Yeah, maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. We
I
don't know.
have, for sure.
You
We've
don't
had
know.
Golden Gate Cetacean Research Group.
Did you ever see her
confirm
post a
the
picture of
photos.
that, Eric?
No, I actually
What?
I had one at the care center.
This was
so-
before we were Facebook friends.
I've seen rescued ones.
You know what's something that's really cool that I feel like is, I guess everybody likes it, is the sunfish.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Mola.
Mola
I actually
Mola.
like seeing those.
I've seen Western gulls surf Mola Mola.
Yeah.
Mola
I mean,
Mola. Yeah, you'll be surprised.
Could it just be a choppy day where one's riding on top of one?
Yeah.
And the reason why these birds are landing on the mola mola, or aka the sunfish, is because the sunfish come up to the surface to sun themselves and get warm, and also because they have parasites on
Yep.
their bodies. Is it just to get the parasites off?
Yeah,
Is that why they come to
actually, they
surface?
got really. If you've been lucky enough to touch a ocean sunfish, Yeah, they have really tough skin. In my opinion, it's rougher than a shark's skin.
Really?
And
Yeah,
so
it's
obviously
rough.
when you're out there in the open ocean, you got no scratching posts. You got nobody who can, scratch an itch for you. So ocean sunfish, that's how they get their name. They actually will lay flat on the surface of the ocean. That's a signal for small fish and birds to pull parasites off, especially out here in Southern California. I should say, I keep on
California.
I forget where I live. Here in the California coast, where you have a lot of kelp, often you get kelp patties, floating offshore, and that will sometimes be a nursery or a little
I've seen
mini
little
home,
baby sunfish hiding underneath
mini
there.
home for some small fish. And the molas actually know to go up next to those sometimes, and lay flat, and those fish will do a little cleaning job for them.
Is it also because of the heating up though as well? Do you think?
I've heard that many different times and places too.
Yeah.
If they're down where it's cold,
Yeah.
feeding on jellyfish,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah, the jellies, the tunicates, the salps, all those soft gelatinous animals they eat, sometimes, will be abundant down in deeper, colder water. So, yeah, they'll warm themselves up. And an interesting thing about the ocean sunfish, I know here we say mola mola, but I'm going to bring up more fish talk. Not that recent, but a year or two ago, we realized that there's actually 3 species in the genus Mola. You got Mola mola, you got Mola tecta, and you got Mola alexandrina or something really Italian sounding. I forgot. And,
now normal.
yeah, So we've learned that there's multiple species out there. Some are bigger than others, and also
is that only the Pacific, the 3?
That genus, I think it's actually a little bit more than the Pacific. Yeah.
So is the Opa not related to it at all?
The Opa's not related
No.
to it. Yeah.
I think aren't mola mola related more to boxfish or something?
Yeah, they actually are and they are close related to I forgot how to say it, tetradoniforms. Yeah, so they're related to puffers, distant relatives of puffers and
I think I heard the
boxfish and stuff like that. But people eat them, so they don't have that toxin.
They're bad luck.
That some other that class of animals has.
But they do have a whole bunch of different types of parasites. So if you are going to eat it, there's that whole aspect of it.
You don't want to kill a sunfish. They're bad.
We can. I know. Yeah, a lot of us fishermen know that story, that myth about them being bad luck. But we could probably do a whole episode on these molas. They are pretty fascinating. If you don't know, they are the heaviest bony fish out there historically. Ones that have been weighing 5,000 pounds have been seen. Some weighing a ton are actually kind of common.
Yeah.
And they're pretty quick growing too. I heard from the Monterey Bay Aquarium that in 15 months, one gained 800 pounds. You heard me right. 15 months, it gained
That's crazy.
800 pounds. So they're really quick growing.
They go like 6,000 times their original, full body form. Once they hatch from the egg and become a little sunfish, and then they're an adult, it's like 6,000 times the size.
Eric and I saw baby mola molas in the harbor.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Yeah.
They do come in there.
I mean, it's happened multiple times, but I just
Yeah.
remember you and I walking over by the harbor office.
Yeah, the harbor office. That was the year that there's a lot of jellies in there too. So I think that might have encouraged them to go inside the harbor. And what's funny is about those young ones, they always school up sometimes. So
Yeah, there was a couple of them going along this and it was shallow right there. They were in 3 feet of water.
yeah,
That's cute.
It's like a little pan swimming through the water.
Okay, what about rare birds? Maybe that'll get someone.
NASCAR booby.
I've seen it.
I'm just getting a Nazca booby.
Nazca
Nazca
booby,
booby.
red-footed booby, brown booby.
Yep.
Lays on albatross.
Seen it.
Ooh, have you?
Ooh, I have.
What about you, Eric?
Um,
Can I tell you something about a lays
I
on
think that's
albatross?
about it. Just those the Nazca. I think that's the rarest one. The
I
red-footed.
got all the way out to Catalina, had 0 memory cards, or bigger SD cards. Pull out a micro SD card. I was given a micro SD card. I put that in a little reader, right? Then I shoot a picture of this lays on albatross perfectly flying off the water. It was like the coolest picture I could have gotten of a lays on albatross. I dropped the little micro SD card and lost it on the boat.
Oh no!
So it's like I can't even prove that I ever saw it.
Wait, you've seen one here though.
No.
What?
I've only seen the black-footed albatross here.
What?
You've seen lays on here?
Yeah.
They come here. I haven't seen one personally yet.
One day I saw 3 at the same time.
Puffin.
Seen it.
Seen them, yeah. Tufted puffins.
What about some of the rarer shearwaters, like short-tailed shearwater?
Yeah, I've probably seen all those because you guys are just shouting weird names out. And I don't know what they are.
True.
You're just like
There's so many different ones out here compared to Southern California.
double-tailed
Yeah, I'm not an
wingback.
expert
I'm
yet.
like, what is that, Pokemon?
Well, you know, I'm surprised we're not getting them now. I know when I first moved here, we had those petrels there further offshore get blown in by these guys. Remember we had those?
Petrels and
The
They
fork-tailed-
were in the harbor.
Yeah, we had fork-tailed
redneck
petrels.
Phalaropes. Red and redneck phalaropes and the
Fork-tailed
yeah,
petrels,
fork-tailed
yeah.
petrels.
storm petrels, yeah.
I was shooting those birds with flash at night.
In the harbor.
In the harbor, yeah,
So
that was pretty
crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. Man, that's how you know it was windy when you have birds like that in the harbor for several
It
days.
was windy today,
Has anyone
too.
double checked? I know of all the wind we had. I'm
Well,
surprised,
this was
but
when,
this is-
when those showed up, it was west wind.
Yeah,
So this has been like wind from every direction possible.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Every compass direction. It's been raining and it's been windy.
I was collecting hail this morning. That's how you know you live near the beach in California because when anything frozen just gets you excited. I'm like gathering, scooping it off my balcony into my hand, and I brought it in to show Margo. I'm like, check out this hail.
All right, trying to think of other weirdness that we've seen on the boats.
We've all seen sperm whales. What about striped dolphin? Have you ever confirmed?
Not
seeing one?
alive. I've personally seen 2 wash up dead back in Southern California.
One just washed up last week in San Francisco alive.
Yeah.
I don't think it made it.
Yeah, that's nuts.
What?
A striped
Yeah, in
dolphin.
San Francisco.
Where do you guys
Yeah.
get these things at? Why don't I ever get?
We're crawling the
I thought I
internet,
followed
dude.
every whale page on the Instagram. I guess I don't.
We get it on Facebook.
Oh, see, that's where I'm not at. I am on Facebook, but you know what I mean.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't
we
scroll
also,
the feed.
Eric and I also get email updates from this listserv called Marmam, which is managed by the Society for Marine Mammalogy, right?
It's actually, I thought, University of Victoria, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe it is.
You guys forward that to me? Or just so I
Yes.
can subscribe. Or just subscribe me if you guys get a chance.
Marmam doesn't necessarily put out stranding notices, but it'll put out new papers, internships, things like that. So if you're interested in marine science and you want to get more into whale stuff, definitely subscribing to that listserv. They put job announcements and volunteer opportunities on there. Just a little plug.
Yeah,
for
it's
that.
one of those things I always recommend that younger folks trying to get into the field, get onto Marmam, join that email list, and like Caitlin just said, yeah, those volunteer opportunities, internships, will be a big step in getting your foot in the door.
But most of our immediate whale news, where like we said, the striped dolphin thing is on Facebook, which is it's interesting how times have
Fauna is
changed.
a good one for that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, sea fauna is great.
And
You guys-
sometimes even just paying attention to when the news companies are posting stuff. If SF Gates posted a dolphin video, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna look at that.
Have you guys seen the spinner dolphin?
Yes.
You went to Hawaii?
In Hawaii, yeah.
What about you?
I didn't see him spinning, but
Never
I saw
seen him.
Bleh. I remember they were like, we got some spinner dolphins up here around the corner, and right away they were just spinning.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was really overcast. I didn't get the craziest shot. We actually didn't spend more than 5 minutes with them. I think we were on our way back. It was a snorkel trip, so
Yeah.
it wasn't a whale watch.
I have
but-
not seen offshore bottlenose dolphins.
Oh, we've seen so many, Slater. They're the best.
Yeah, they're my favorite. I was trying to think of something, but I was gonna say, well, I mean, they're technically inshore and offshore.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
They're different. Oh, yeah.
They are
They
different.
look totally
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
they act different too.
Tell the people the difference, people.
well, okay, wait.
We did this on the last one. I
Yeah,
thought.
Did we?
did,
Okay.
yeah.
About the common dolphin thing too, as well.
Yeah, and the inshore, offshore, the body size difference. I think we covered that. The offshore are a lot bigger than the
Yeah.
inshore, and their behavior's different. We saw 3 bottlenose fairly offshore on the ACS fundraiser trip in November, but I don't know if anybody was actually.
They might
calling
just
them.
cross the canyon here every once in a while.
Yeah.
You think they got to?
Yeah,
I was
think
down
they
in
do.
Newport though.
Oh,
We were on our
well,
way
then
up to Point Vicente, but there was only 3 of them. They didn't do anything cool, so I don't remember.
No one said anything on the boat. They didn't call it out.
They did, but I don't remember if they said inshore or offshore. Because someone also misidentified the common dolphins for a while there too. So I was like, okay.
What did they call them?
Well, they were short beaks, and they kept saying they were long beak, and I kept looking at them, going, I don't think these are long
Where
beak.
were they at? Were you guys close to the harbor?
Not
Because
really.
you guys were in close. They probably were long beaks.
No,
Long
they
beak,
definitely were
yeah.
short beaks. They were pudgy little guys.
Oh, I love dolphins. If you guys want to get good at photographing whales, shoot dolphins in Newport Beach for like a week or month straight.
Yeah. It's good practice for
If
timing
you
and
can
lighting.
get those timed and understand their behavior, then the whales will be a breeze.
For sure.
The best is when the water's clear too. You can track them too.
Yeah, you can see them. They'll do like 2 little kicks with their tail, and then they'll shoot out, and then.
What other ones do we have? I'm looking.
We're all looking up at a chart
We
or
have
at
a
a poster. There's a lot of. I thought I was.
There's a lot of things we haven't seen. All three of
Yeah.
us for sure. But is there anything that someone has seen that the rest of us have not?
Oh, you know what I almost saw and like a couple days later they saw it in Iceland. Right after I left, they saw a white-beaked dolphin. White-beaked dolphin, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's what they do see those in
Yeah.
Iceland. I missed the Atlantic white-sided dolphins by one day last time I was out in
I didn't
Massachusetts
even know that those
too.
were a thing
Yeah.
till like a week ago.
Hopefully I get to see them this year.
Because I know that the dusky dolphin, they look similar
Yeah.
too.
Well, they're all Ligorhynchus, aren't they?
Mhm.
They're all related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all
Of
like-
course.
Or if they're not Ligorhynchus, they're the other one.
The lissos. So the northern right whale dolphin those are just in the lisso families. They're just 2.
I think they're the only Lysodelphus. Yeah, the northern and southern.
All right.
Yes.
I'm learning things.
Yes.
I still need to see right whale.
Yes, me
Yeah,
too.
we said that.
Yeah.
That's something we definitely need to
What
see.
about a walrus?
I haven't seen one. I saw a picture once.
I want to see a walrus.
And polar bears.
Did we talk about what's on our whale bucket list?
No.
Right whales are definitely on all of ours.
Mine's swimming with the orcas in Norway.
That's on my list. Belugas and narwhals.
Yeah.
You can swim with belugas in the St. Lawrence.
You could in Churchill, Manitoba or something. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah,
Up
Manitoba.
Canada. Yeah.
What else?
Would swimming with narwhals be dangerous? Poke you.
Yes. No, I want to only swim with belugas. I don't want to swim with the narwhals. I want to see the narwhals, but I want to swim with the belugas.
You wouldn't swim with narwhals?
I would.
I'm scared.
They know what they're doing with that thing.
I mean, I don't know. I'm scared. I'm kind of honestly scared to swim with killer whales and humpbacks too, but we'll see.
Woo! They're big.
They are big.
Yeah.
I've seen them in small boats. They're pretty flippin' big.
Yeah, like on that day, I'll never forget that, the day on the Serenity. I mean, the fluke was like way out on one side and his head was up on the other, exhaling in people's faces.
I want to see a group of sperm whales up close. I've seen them from a distance, but like a nursery group, like moms and juveniles, I've not had a good encounter with.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
Yeah, hopefully that happens again.
You guys have both seen that. I saw
But I've never seen a big male like.
just chilling.
That's something we talk about, how the dwarfism, like
The
between
dimorphism?
oh, dang it! I thought I was throwing in a super cool word right there. Okay, well you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Dwarfism.
The dimorphism. So the male sperm whale is
Science.
a lot bigger than the female. The males can be like 60 feet, whereas the females are like maybe 40 feet.
But there's other species that have
So,
same thing.
so odontocetes, all-toothed whales, the male is bigger. And then mysticetes, the baleen whales, the female is bigger.
Yeah, because you gotta make a 13-foot
Yeah, to make a-
baby.
Have they
Big baby.
confirmed that yet? Wasn't there some weirdness with was it the bears that the female might be bigger?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like, I'll look that up later, but there was some weird talk about that.
Blue whale calves
See,
are
just when
obviously
you
the
think
biggest.
you have whales figured out, they prove you
Science.
wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Blue whale
Science. You
calves
never
the
know.
biggest that come out.
I
Yeah.
would
24
think
feet,
yes.
huh?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Close to
24 feet.
And
Doesn't
six-
even sound
6,000 pounds already, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have a school bus. Give birth to a school bus. Now, how long is a school bus? Do we even know?
40-ish feet.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I tell people humpback whale calves are like the same size as my Toyota Tacoma.
Extra cab or standard?
Extended cab.
Okay. Thank you. Short bed or long bed?
Short bed.
So many options.
And then they weigh about the same too, because I actually, oddly enough, had to have my truck weighed for something one time, and it was about 2,000 pounds. And humpback whale calves are typically between 1,500 to 2,000 pounds.
And something cool about the blue whale calves is that, well, I don't know. Is this for most of the baleen whales? Blue whales can gain up to 100 pounds every day.
Yeah,
For the first 2 years of their life?
That's usually what we say for
actually,
gray whales up.
Yeah, with a blue
Gray
whale.
whales too, 100 pounds a day?
Could be.
I
heard like
that's,
50.
It's
but
kind of on the high end. But
with a blue whale, it's younger stage. It's 8 to 9 pounds an hour. So
do you think that it's like for
close
the first
to 200
2 years?
I'm not sure how long it is. That's a good question, but yeah, infant stage it is close to 200 pounds a
when
day.
they're feeding on the milk, because then once they switch to like
Yeah, I think when they're nursing. So the way that I've heard some people explain it is like when they're nursing, they're going through this rapid growth, right? They're gaining a ton of weight, not literally a ton. They're gaining hundreds of pounds of weight every few days, and then they sometimes have been recorded to double their body length before they're weaned. And then once they're weaned, they're kind of set up to last and not feed very well for the next 2 to 3 years. So until they're figuring it out, they could live off of that fat layer that mom is stocked up for them while nursing.
That's something cool about being in the feeding grounds.
Yes.
In the humpback population, is that we get to see the calves come here on their first year and not feed or try to feed.
Yep.
And it's funny because you'll see like 2 or 3 or 6 full-grown humpbacks come out of the water with their mouths open and lunge feed on anchovies, and then the calf on the far end just
spy hops.
Too late, yeah.
like I don't even know what it does, dude. It just comes out sideways.
Yeah, I remember my first month here. I was actually watching that. Yeah, mom and calf lunge feeding, and the calf would come up late, and it didn't forget to close its mouth. It just like kept its mouth open for an extra few seconds. Probably anchovies were swimming out, but
This summer was
kind of funny.
We had a lot of good mom and calf pairs this summer, and we had all kinds of funny stuff happen.
It made for
some of them looked like they never even opened their mouth.
It made a great photo op, but I was like, hey, buddy, you don't want these anchovies to swim out, so you might want to close it now.
I got more calf breaches this summer than I did by far.
Yeah, they were good this year.
This was a good year. Yeah.
I got hardly any full-grown humpbacks breaching. They breached, but like up, you know what I mean, like shots that I would.
Yeah, the calves were really photogenic this year. I think one of the funniest ones of the mom and calf trying to feed is that mom and calf were being kind of funny. The calf was being a little rambunctious, switching sides on mom and rolling around. We were out with this high school group, and the mom all of a sudden just decides to do this big lunge feed next to the boat, and then the calf just breaches right next to her. So I don't know if he like missed the signal or was just like, I can contribute to this too.
Yeah, me and Slater had a lot of pods where there would be like literally like a dozen whales lunge feeding together, and then like 100 yards away there's a calf like tail throwing nonstop.
That
or
I call
tail
a
slapping.
temper tantrum.
It's funny because, and then they would stop feeding all the whales, and then they would break off, and then that mom would join back up with their calf, and then they would cruise off, and then the calf would probably, continue breaching.
Yeah, I've seen that several seasons now, and I almost think that's like a temper tantrum. Like, Mom, I'm hungry, and I'm not getting any food while the rest of you are eating. And the calf starts freaking out, and the group breaks up.
She's like, there's so much fish around here.
You just pay attention. Yeah, I've also seen where the group stays together, and who I presume is the mom peels off, quiets down the calf for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then goes back to the group. I've seen that before too. So that's where I got the temper tantrum theory from.
Lots of cool behaviors.
Yeah.
And things to see.
Yes, mom and calf pairs especially are super fun.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what topic we're on anymore.
We just wandered
we're
down.
talking about weird things on boats, and then
Well, we were talking about things we haven't seen.
Yeah.
That maybe the other
a giant squid. I saw a piece of it.
Humboldt squid. Is that giant? Might not
No.
be. No, they're big.
They're big,
bigger,
but they're
not
not giant squid.
You saw a piece of one?
Yeah,
What about
when I first
sharks?
literally like my first. Oh yeah,
Dutch sharks, blue sharks,
blues,
Yeah.
salmon.
hammerheads. I don't know what
White.
type of hammerhead shark I saw.
I've not seen any.
What would you say I
hammerheads.
saw if I saw it off like when we're catching?
Oh, it's either scalped or smooth.
Yeah.
Could be either one though.
Man.
What about
Let me
basking
tell you a
shark?
story about a hammerhead real quick. We were at the Balboa Pier, and this lady. This isn't funny. This lady is like
This isn't funny, but I'm laughing. Really
holding her
hard.
camera over the rail, and she like saw the shark. She dropped her camera. But like, and then
Did it land on the shark?
I'm pretty sure the same thing happened again with the cell phone, and then the lady dropped the second thing in the water as well. Like
She dropped two things in a row.
yeah, they're in the harbor or something. But my dad was on the boat that day, so it's funny because I always remember right in front of the Balboa Pier, like a 10-foot hammerhead.
Sharks.
Yeah.
What about basking shark?
I haven't seen.
I've never seen one.
Oh, I thought you were gonna see.
No, they've been sighted in Monterey since I've lived here, but only a handful of times, and I've never seen one.
They had one in Channel Islands? Like last summer.
They had one on Long Beach,
They used to see them in Monterey all the time until about 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, until they accidentally killed
them. They
them.
had all those ones in Big Sur the other day. 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
The other day, 2 years ago.
I remember everyone, even Giancarlo, and everyone was like, get up here.
Yeah, it did make the news. I never saw photos that corroborated 50 sharks, but I heard
it was
that many.
What did you just say? What word did you just say?
Corroborated.
What? We're gonna have to put in the description. We're gonna have to put little links for the dictionary.
Footnotes.
I mean, I know what it means, obviously.
Dimorphism. Corroborated.
Yeah, dwarfism.
Little whales.
Making fun of me because of my vocabulary?
No, we would never.
Yes.
Well, other sharks. Well, we have the great whites that we see here.
Juvenile great whites especially.
Yeah.
I've seen adults here too, but...
You want to go on a shark trip?
Yeah, dude, let's go.
It's
Wait, can you see the little sharks this time of year?
No, not right now. Usually you gotta wait till it warms up.
You ever been have to be at the dock in 20 minutes? And then you decide to go to Capitola, which is about an hour and a half.
From Monterey?
Drive.
Did our 2.5 hour trip become 4 hours? All right, sorry guys, we're just...
Anyways, there's
inside joke.
Would you consider, is it a population of little?
It is a nursery.
I guess you can say a nursing ground. So yeah, over the years we've learned that in the northern part of the bay, around the Aptos, even towards the Capitola area, close to the shoreline, there is young sharks that are there during the warmer months, and young juvenile white sharks, being 6-7 feet long. Some slightly bigger ones have been seen over there. That area has been pretty consistent for sightings during those warmer months, to the point where whale watching boats have taken special trips over there. Those in the Santa Cruz area,
really special trips,
really special long trips. Some of the
you guys are gonna kill me.
The boats out of Santa Cruz obviously have a shorter trip, so they've been venturing out there. And I know one day it's hard to say. Your percentage of seeing them are really high. One day we went to go find one. We ended up seeing a dozen or so. So that's been a hot topic out here in the Monterey Bay, is young white sharks.
Is it true that these white sharks slowly continue going up the coast, when they become an adult, they keep going into colder waters?
Kind of. A thing? They go where the food is, which happens to be Central California is a big place for that. They have seen them in Oregon, and they have had a tagged white shark ping at Port Orford on the new marine protected area up there. They got a weird ping on the acoustic sensors in the marine protected area up there a couple years ago. And they're like, what the heck is this? And I think it was one of Barbara Block's sharks from Hopkins.
Anything as far as Alaska?
Maybe not that far. Salmon sharks go that far though, right?
Yeah, salmon sharks are pretty abundant in Alaska.
They come down here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see salmon sharks in Monterey Bay.
All right.
But yeah, our white sharks, these young ones will pretty much stay along the surf, and they're just focused on eating rockfish, perch and stuff in the surf line. And then when they get bigger, then they'll kind of go to areas where there's bigger food. And all of us know that they love the elephant seals in this area, harbor seals. Mm-hmm. We are in an area known as the Red Triangle. If you draw a line from Point Sur to Bodega Bay and then out to the Farallon Islands, it creates this big red triangle, we call it, and it's a hot spot for big white sharks. So often the Farallons, you can see them right here just along our coast. You talk to local fishermen, spearfishermen, divers, they'll report sightings all the time. I personally finally saw a big white shark, I kid you not, probably 15 feet plus, kill something off of Año Nuevo about 2 months ago. So they're out here when they get bigger, and their teeth actually change so they can support these bigger diets. When they're young, the teeth aren't that wide and serrated yet. When they hit that 11 plus foot mark is when those teeth get A little bit bigger, a little bit wider, more serration, so they can handle those bigger meals that they're known for, such as the sea lions, elephant seals, and harbor seals out here. And also a lot of talk has been, you guys just talked about where they go when they grow up. We do know that they some of them possibly are going out to that area known as the White Shark Cafe, literally between here and Hawaii. It was once thought that, why are they going out there? There's not much food there. But a team from Monterey Bay Aquarium has figured out that there is some food out there. There are some clues that maybe they're breeding out there. So there are one animal that science is, we see them, but we're still trying to figure out exactly what's going on with them out here. But out here, I think we've all seen, been lucky enough to see white sharks, makos, blues, threshers, salmon sharks.
I've never
and then
seen a salmon
Caitlin,
shark.
I think I have.
yeah, salmon sharks is out here.
I've seen a 7-gill shark. Caitlin saw one.
Oh, yeah.
We saw one. Well, it was dying.
Being consumed. And Caitlin, you were just talking about the basking sharks that showed up here.
Yeah. Well, I guess I think there was a lab at Moss Landing Marine Labs that used to consistently study them, which to me I think is not too big of a leap to think they used to be here a lot. And I've heard stories of old fishermen that used to use gill nets, and they would catch basking sharks in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. So they definitely used to be around more. I don't really know what happened, but there's only been a few sightings since I moved here 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's funny, with all the good upwelling we get here in the Monterey Bay area, and with all the canyons out here, I'm surprised we don't get them more.
You don't think they were just hunted?
Could be.
Maybe, but I also think there's some kind of shift going on in the California current, and unfortunately science funding is low, and we're missing whatever's happening. Because, think about albacore. They used to catch them in Monterey every summer. They used to always plan albacore trips, and now they catch them off of Oregon and Washington. I mean, something's going on. We don't really understand what it is, but things are shifting, and we're kind of losing our chance to document it all.
Used to catch a lot of sand bass and barracuda down south, too. Well, I'm just saying, maybe and they always kind of say oh well, ever since the squid came through, they ate them all.
Yeah.
It's
well, with the albacore, I don't think they've necessarily been all fished out or all eaten by something else, because they're catching them just further north. So maybe the basking sharks are hanging out off of Mendocino County and we don't even know it. So we really the jury's out on a lot of things, but the Monterey Bay Aquarium and Hopkins Marine Station are doing some really cool collaborative work on the white shark situation, especially with the young ones. And I did sit down with Sal Jorgensen last summer and interview him for another project I'm working on, and he's got some papers that should be coming out soon. So we should know more and have some more definitive answers about what's going on. But it sounds like those juvenile white sharks are there to stay. That's going to be a reoccurring theme, I think, for the future.
So I think we made it sound like we see sharks kind of often. I don't know if we made it seem like that, but for you people listening, we don't see sharks that much. And people always say, are we going to see sharks when we go whale watching? Because they might be scared of sharks or something. We see them, one every, a couple hundred trips, maybe. Yeah. I don't see them that much.
During the warmer months, you see them more. I see a lot of blue sharks, this summer.
It also depends on the sea conditions and where you are. Like the blue sharks, if you're out over the canyon and it's calm, your odds are pretty good that you could find one. But when you have that glassy sea conditions and you're in the right area, those things don't line up that often.
Yeah. I mean, we're also not looking for it either.
Yeah.
But, when you see them, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky to have them. I think a lot of it has to do with, like you said, the sea conditions. And I think they might be, I don't know, it seems like some species, especially the white sharks, are just popping up a little bit better now. I think since the gill nets.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember, but, having them kind of less of them off of our coastline, I should say, instead of eliminated, but seriously less of them. That's what a lot of people think has led to the comeback of these white sharks, and why they're a little bit more visible now too. Not just this situation that's going on in Northern Monterey Bay, but even back down home, Slater, right? Manhattan Beach started seeing a lot, and all of a sudden, everyone, off of into Long Beach, Seal Beach,
Golden West, Huntington Beach,
off of San Onofre, and
Sunset Beach,
San Clemente,
actually.
yeah, everyone.
I spent a whole day flying my drone back and forth near Sunset Beach looking for white shark, small white shark. I didn't see one.
You didn't, over there.
I spent a long time there that day too.
Yeah, and then even before I left, the Warp started doing the shark search trips, and we were really the first year I did it, it was okay, and then the second year, oh man, because Sacramento all of a sudden had a lot of good sightings. I don't want to say that they just there's more of them that popped up there. I mean, but I think people just started paying attention more.
And sharks don't, come to the surface for a breath of air. So that's another reason why we don't see them that much.
Yeah, it's mostly it happened to be basking at the surface, resting when we drove by, and we saw it and slowed down before we spooked it, and then you could see it.
Well, a lot of people are using stand-up paddle boards now too, and then obviously drones. So we're kind of getting a different perspective nowadays too.
That's true.
Yeah, we're starting to see them show up more on social media because it's a shark, so people always,
Well, everybody's got a camera in their pocket now because it's on their phone.
Yeah, it's just like the gray whales have been going to the beach forever, and in the last 4 years, everybody has a drone. Everybody has, and now it's like, whoa, are we okay to swim at the beach? Like, it's like, these whales have been doing it forever. Yeah. I mean, I have so many photos of people swimming at the beach with gray whales in the, right in the foreground, and they have no idea.
And same thing with the white sharks. I remember, in high school, mid-90s, surfing in San Onofre, the young white sharks were there to the point where some of the locals actually named them. Yeah, and they were like cute names like Fluffy and stuff like that. So some of you South County guys remember that, but then, media and phones and drones caught on and stand-up paddleboards, and everyone could see them a little bit easier. So technology does kind of spread the word that animals are around.
All right, well, that was a pretty good episode, I think.
Yeah. Keep sending us more things to talk about.
Yes,
we have
guys.
a list, but we want to hear what you want to know about.
Yes, send them in.
It's kind of nice just answering questions, because then it gets us thinking and us going on little rants about things that we've seen, or I don't know.
We can rant about the ocean for a while. So give us some direction. We'll go for it.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed episode 6. If you guys aren't following us on Instagram, it's Whalenerds. Make sure you do that. If you guys want to leave us any comments or questions for future topics, we'd be greatly appreciative of that.
Look at you with your big words. Appreciative.
You know what I'm saying? And thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening.